everyone. Thank you for joining Beyond the Badge. Welcome back to another episode of our monthly tradition to share employee stories on Beyond the Badge. Our audience is filling up rapidly. I thank you for joining us right early and on time, ready to go. Many of you probably know our repeat guests who come back month after month know that this is our kickoff, our premiere episode of season 4. Wow, how has that happened that we are now starting our 4th year of these monthly Beyond the Badge episodes? We've been partnering with our colleagues who lead the System Daily Huddle. This is a huddle where our senior executive leadership come together every single day to ensure operations for our health system are going to run smoothly, safely, high quality day. And they take a pause in every single huddle. They've been doing this for years. Take a pause in every huddle where one leader knows it's their turn to share a story about an employee that really demonstrates our "we find a way" promise, our values, our mission and vision, what makes Mount Sinai a great and incredible place to work. The stories we've been sharing on Beyond the Badge are collections of those stories from the month before. So we have our January 2025 stories ready to share with you, our first of the year of huddles here on March 7th. So that's why it's our debut here in March for season 4. We started in 2022 and we're continuing on here in 2025. So thank you to our partners on the huddle, Joseph Mary, Swati Garg, Hillary Polly. They work on the huddle. They set up this whole system for recognition stories, and they share those with us each month. We're thrilled to invite you back. We know many of you are new. You're here because you know someone being honored and you're ready to shout out and cheer for them. And please use all those emojis and reactions. We love to see those fluttering on our screen. And use the chat. Make sure you set that chat to everyone. All right. And so not just hosts and panelists, set it to everyone and shout out, cheer, comment galore. We usually have 400 or 500 chats, comments by the end of the episode. So that's wonderful. All right. Now, I know our regular audience, like I said, is our senior leadership team who come back month after month. And I always love to start these episodes by calling on a couple of our senior leaders to come up and join us. I'm going to switch the order a little bit. I know we have one of our leaders still coming on in a moment, but I do know that we have our first guest, Dr. Amanda Ree, is here to help join us and welcome us. I'd love to call on Dr. Ree to say hello and welcome our guests. Dr. Ree is our System Vice President of Perioperative and Procedural Services for the health system, as well as professor in the Department of Anesthesiology, Perioperative, and Pain Medicine in the School of Medicine. Dr. Reed, thanks so much for being here and to come celebrate these stories with us.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. I have to say, your energy is contagious. It is an absolute privilege and pleasure to be here with all of you. I think one of my favorite things about working at Mount Sinai really is the people, is the opportunity to work with the amazing people in our health system. And that includes the people who you will see are celebrated today that I hear about every day on the System Daily Huddle. So without further ado, looking forward to the show and congratulations to everybody here and well beyond.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ree. And I know our audience, I can go check out the audience backstage here. It's just filled with leaders like you. I really appreciate you coming and joining and taking in these stories that really demonstrate and role model our work. I have another leader I'm going to call on in a little bit. They're having some audio issues right now, but we're going to call them up in a moment. They're excited to check out today's stories as well. I'm used to watching as a guest and just sitting back. Everyone in our audience can just sit back and relax and have your coffee, have your lunch, and have this thrilling hour of inspiring stories. So I also want to shout out 4 years. This is our 4th year of doing this. Big round of applause to the team that makes this happen. First off, Alyssa, G, and Andrea and Michael Joseph are part of the entire month-long planning process for these to ensure that these happen. They've been reaching out to our celebrants throughout the month to create this smooth experience. Jessica Rubin, always backstage helping us out from TDL. Our executive sponsor, Diane Adams, our Chief Learning Officer, who's I'll give her credit. This is her idea to even start Beyond the Badge, which we've come to be a part of our culture here at Mount Sinai, and it's just so supportive of this program. And to the people who are going to be reading the stories, I'm going to invite members of our Spotlight Committee, our Mount Sinai Health System Spotlight Committee. They are the leaders across our system who are deeply dedicated to you, to our employees. Employee engagement, patient experience, employee experience, growth and development. They are passionate about our people, and I thank them for, many of them have been here the whole run, and they're here to share the stories today. With that, I want to jump right into it. I see some shout outs already from South Nassau. Do not hesitate. Be the loudest voice for your facility in the chat and shouting out your people. I'm going to start. We have different categories that we celebrate. We're going to start with our team spotlights. We've got a few teams to go to first. Then we go into our patient letters category where we have appreciation by patients. Then our stories of excellence, which are some of these one-time remarkable experiences that someone came in this moment of need, and we share those stories. Then we have a spotlight section, which is highlighting someone's a project or specific body of work. And we end with our peer-to-peer recognition. Many of these come from star recognition. I've got a resource tab for you. I put a lot of work into giving you great resources each month in that resources tab on your Zoom. You can find the star link there. You can find a program going through our agenda for today. And you can see little short bios and quotes about each of our honorees. With that, I want to go right into our stories. We've got 17 great stories to share with you today. Let's go first to our teams. The first one's out at Mount Sinai West. We have our Nursing 7G Psych team. I think they're in a few locations. Andres is ready to read the story. Give us a moment while we're bringing them up on screen here. And Andres, why don't you start sharing our first team spotlight story today?
Absolutely, and congratulations to all the recipients today. This team recently came together to assist a patient who was struggling with self-harm, extreme hopelessness, and alcohol withdrawal. Nurse Melita Hembrador and mental health associate Yvonne Valverde were already holding the patient's hands to prevent self-harming. Nurse Ernest Aquino and behavioral health associates Angel Grolan and William Lee also joined to help. The team worked seamlessly to reassure the patient, emphasizing that she would get through this and that we were all there together to support her. Her repeated apologies were met with, "You haven't done anything wrong. We're here to help you." This entire interaction lasted almost 45 minutes, during which staff played calming music, gave her encouraging words, and administered medication to help the patient de-escalate. Once the episode passed, the patient peacefully fell asleep in bed. This interdisciplinary team demonstrated exceptional skill in managing a crisis that could have escalated into something far more serious. Thank you to this whole team for always providing excellent and compassionate care to all of our patients. Congratulations, 7G.
Thank you so much, Andres. And to this team, you'll see in the chat, Michael Joseph and Alexandria Sheffman on my team who do the CPI trainings for Mount Sinai Health System, the Crisis Prevention Institute. I've got my blue card. I know many of you have yours. They were so excited to see this story because they know many of you personally. They know the drills and trainings that you do. And here we see it in action. And I'm wondering if someone can speak up on behalf of this team and share your insight into what this experience was like for you and how you work together as a team to care for this patient.
Unmute. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I want to begin by acknowledging how challenging and emotionally taxing it is to care for someone who is actively self-harming. It's a deeply personal experience for both the patient and the team involved in their care. As we all know, psychiatric care requires a delicate balance of empathy, professionalism, collaboration. I'd like to take a few moments to reflect on how this experience was for me and to highlight the incredible teamwork that we went into providing the best care for our patient. So when we first encountered the patient, we were faced with an immediate need for intervention. It wasn't just about physical care. It was about recognizing the depth of emotional pain and distress that led to these actions. We understood that self-harm isn't a desire for attention, but a way for the patient to cope with the overwhelming feelings of anguish. The very first step was to ensure their immediate safety. But beyond that, we had to find a way to connect with them, to create a space where they felt understood and supported. We worked hard to create an environment where they didn't feel ashamed of their feelings. I believe that non-judgmental support was key to building trust, and that trust allowed for deeper conversations about their pain and the root causes of their distress. In the end, what stood out most was the collective sense of purpose we shared. It wasn't about any of us, it was about the patient, their well being, and our shared commitment to making a positive difference in their life. We didn't just provide medical care, we provided hope, compassion, understanding, all while ensuring that we took care of one another as a team. As I reflect on this experience, I feel a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to work alongside such dedicated colleagues, um, and for the privilege of being part of a team that truly understands the power of compassionate care. We may never fully know what impact we've had, but I believe that our unwavering commitment made a difference, no matter how small.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much and for speaking on behalf of the team so well. And it's such an important way for us as a community to have insight into the work that's happening in different units and how that's different and what you focus on and how you're there to collaborate and support each other. You know, as a team, come back and see these wonderful chat comments, really celebrating and appreciating what you're saying as role models here at Mount Sinai. It's a really wonderful story and a really wonderful example of how you care for your patients in this unit. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad we got to share this story. All right. Thank you so much. Andres, we're going to have a bunch for you to do back. You're covering West End Morningside today. So we'll be back to you. We're going to go next to our next team at Mount Sinai Queens. I know they're standing by. So let's bring up Zachary Key. He's got a team out at Queens that includes Daniela Rodriguez, Shannon Gannon, Krista Lunt, Maribel Torres, Tamika Mack, and Michael Tubman. Many of them are there in the audience. All right. Excellent. We'll get you to come off mute when you're ready to speak here. So make sure you're off mute for your story. And Zach, why don't you share?
Thank you, Steve. It's my honor to recognize one of the best teams here at Mount Sinai Queens.
All
But the
right.
story reads, in June 2024, I suffered a stroke. As you can imagine, I was in shock, but I had the pleasure of meeting Daniela Rodriguez for speech therapy. And with every visit, I watched my confidence grow. She was a breath of fresh air and expressed the type of encouragement I so desperately needed. My neurologist felt I would benefit from occupational therapy too, and I was introduced to Shannon Gannon. It was impressive how thorough Shannon was. Her evaluation and explanation of why I was having difficulties with certain tasks gave me the opportunity to give myself a break. It also encouraged me to try different approaches to achieving daily goals. Now that I have returned to work, I still use her suggestions and techniques. The support staff was so attentive as well. Krista, Maribel, and Mike made sure I had all my appointments. With each visit, there was always a smile or a gesture that lifted my spirits. When you go through an experience like this, you need to encounter individuals who treat you with empathy and kindness. Thank you, and congratulations, team.
All right, thank you. No, I'm going to ask if Michael and Alyssa, if you can drop the spotlight for Zach and me so that we can see this team nice and full screen because they're together there in the conference room. And I got to say, I love the final line of this story, that when going through an experience like this, you need to encounter individuals who treat you with empathy and kindness. Who from this group would like to step up and speak to the way everyone on this team brings empathy and kindness to every patient's experience?
Hey everyone, thank you so much for honoring us. Thank you to Beyond the Badge for recognizing us, and thank you to Joanne for writing the really truly wonderful letter that she wrote. We recognize that with regards to healthcare professionals, we have obviously the medical side of what we do, but the most important part arguably could be that we provide a caring, loving, comfortable, safe space for our patients to heal, to get better. And we know that going to the hospital, going to the outpatient clinic might not always be the best part of someone's day right away. And we kind of endeavor to make sure that that isn't necessarily the case, that they are having a good time and feeling comfortable here, especially when dealing with someone like who's post-stroke. That can be a really scary time. Immediate action can sometimes need to be taken. And so, as far as the registrars, we're more than happy to help out. Obviously, Daniela and the speech team, Shannon, who can't be here, and the occupational therapy team, it's important to make sure that you're providing that safe space for the patient because they're feeling vulnerable, they're feeling scared, and the most important thing they need right now is someone there for them and someone to help take care of them. So I'm proud to be part of this team. They're a pretty spectacular group of people, and thank you also to Rosa and Anthony, our fearless leaders who put us on a path to success every single day.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I know just hearing from Zach, I can tell the Mount Sinai Queens team is very proud of this team as well. And what I love, the last team was a team working together in a moment and how they supported each other. And like what's cool about this team is it's across this continuum of the experience. And they noted the people who made a difference throughout several parts of their experience. And that incredible teamwork is so important to talk about as well. So really wonderful that this group is so aligned in the experience that they give with their patients, no matter where they are in their journey. Really, really wonderful and nice. Thank you so much for sharing. Congrats to you all, Mount Sinai Queens. All right. We got one more team for you. This time we're going out to South Nassau. I'll bring Olivia McGregor on to share a story for, this was Laboratory Leadership for the System, chose this group from South Nassau to celebrate. They're Marissa Ashrafali, Vladimir Kozlov, Diane Gorish, and Ronaldo Manuel. And there they all are. And Olivia, why don't you begin this story?
Thank you, Steve. The Department of Pathology Leadership recognized the laboratory staff for their outstanding efforts in the Abbott Alinity Chemistry Instruments Implementation Project, which assures quality and precise chemistry test results. Marissa Ashrafali is our chemistry supervisor who took center stage in the project. She attended all meetings and worked tirelessly with Abbott and on her own to ensure that the entire project was completed on time. Our lead tech in chemistry, Vladimir Kozlov, worked diligently with our validation process. Vladimir worked with Marissa to ensure that our new supplies were ordered promptly. He also took the responsibility for linearity testing. Diane Garish has been key in implementing our LIS test codes with the new analyzers throughout the project. She worked behind the scenes to ensure that the proper codes were uploaded promptly to ensure on-time completion of the project. Lastly, Ronaldo Manuel, our quality manager, raised the bar in terms of quality and professionalism, ensuring that all New York State and CAP standards were met prior to go live with the analyzers. These outstanding staff played a vital role in this project's success, and we are deeply grateful for their hard work, commitment, and collaboration.
Thank you, Olivia. The team probably can't see it while you're up there on screen, but the chat is lining up with people cheering for you and celebrating you. I'd love to turn it to you, and if someone wants to speak up on behalf of this team on how you collaborated to ensure the success that you achieved on this project, and what was the key for this team that led to this outstanding accomplishment?
Well, we all work together as a team, both in front and in the back and behind the scenes. Marissa and Vlad worked tirelessly with the working on the instruments and getting them up and running. We also had to coordinate this because this was not just putting in new instruments, but it was replacing ones that were actively in use. So we had not only minimal downtime to make sure that we had enough time for patients to have their results, but also to have, making sure that we were done on time and on schedule. So it was really a very much of a group and team effort.
Yeah, excellent. And you know that laboratory leadership for the system could have chosen any person, individual team in the entire health system, chose this project to highlight. So this is something that was important to them. They were happy and excited to share it and share your story with their leadership peers across our health system. So congratulations. I love that you're in front of a We Find a Way podium sign. That's what this story was as well. So excellent work to your team out there at South Nassau.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show. That's our 3 teams that we're having, and I'll tell you, all of the individuals we're about to go into, they always reference their team, almost always, because any individual performer is going to have a team behind them. In fact, I'm looking at some of our screens and I see teams lining up behind some of their celebrants here. We're going to go into first our patient category. These are all stories that came from patient letters, patient comments, and we're going to start with our Mount Sinai Hospital. Colette Watson's going to come up. It was actually Support and Ancillary Services for the System, recognized Liz Castillo, and if we can bring her on up, we're going to hear this story from Colette.
Of course. Thank you, Steve, and congratulations to Luz. So our story reads, housekeeper Luz Castillo consistently embodies the true spirit of patient care. A patient's family member recently wrote the following to appreciate Luz. Quote, my mom has been in the SICU for about 6 weeks, and I have grown quite fond of Luz Castillo. A nurse has told me how Luz has been singing holiday songs to my mom, even through sedation. My mom's room is well kept too. She mops the floors, picks up all the leftover medical wrappers, and sanitizes the room for my mom. Luz is kind and always asks about my mom's well-being. She showed concern when my mom had a turn and was immediately sedated. We need more sympathy and kindness like this. Luz treats patients like family and keeps their rooms as they would their homes, cleaned and organized. Thank you, Luz, for consistently setting such a high standard of excellence. Your compassionate nature makes a lasting impact, and you truly make a difference.
Thank you so much, Colette. And Liz, I saw your photo as you got a star recognition. I was on Mount Sinai Daily. I said, I know her. She's going to be on our Beyond the Badge. So you're getting a lot of spotlight. Love this story. I love how the family member notes how you treat patients like family and maintain their rooms as they would their homes. Very personal, very emotional. Can you tell us how you provide this exceptional level of kindness and care for your patients every day?
It is from the heart. It's for me, is I feel like I have a family in there in that bed, or my brother or sister suffering in there. So I saw her daughter, like she was working in the room and very, very, very concerned about it. So I don't have what to say to her. So I give you a big, big hug, very, very, very warm. And like the connection was really, really really, really, really nice. But I do it for my heart. Everything that I do in the room or in the unit or every corner of the hospital that I go or everywhere is like organic. I say, and we was laughing about it, but I'm doing from the heart. That's
from the heart
say.
into every corner of where you're working. Anywhere you go, you're bringing that heart and that
Yes.
empathy. And you even said it when you're looking at your patients. It's not just treating them like a family member or brother or sister, but you recognize their suffering. I heard you say like
Yes,
they're
yes.
suffering and understanding that,
Mm-hmm.
bringing your empathy to
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So can I ask what you were singing? Holiday songs? What's your favorite?
Oh wow! It was for Christmas. It was whole Christmas in the
Yeah.
the unit, in the cardiology unit. So I say, I know before that you get at that point, we was talking about Christmas celebrations and the holidays, and we was talking about the music. She loved the music. For in that case, from Dominican and Puerto Rican music, for Christmas, and we was singing from the mountains. We coming from mountain with
Beautiful.
Christmas.
Wow, what a touching
De las
moment.
montañas venimos para invitarte a comer un pedacito en La Habana y un ejército a beber.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Everyone give her a round of applause for Liz and to picture you just having that moment, that
Yes.
family moment in the
Mhm,
patient
mhm.
room is
Even
just
that
lighting us up.
she went to the other unit and I was visiting her a long time.
Oh, very
Yes.
nice.
Mhm.
Liz, it's been such a pleasure. We're going to go on to our next story, but it's been so
Thank you.
nice
My
to talk with
pleasure.
you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
all you do for our patients and
Thank
your patients.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Take care. Oh, Colette, we're going to be back to you so soon. We've got a few stories from Mount Sinai Hospital to share today. But up next, we're going to go to Mount Sinai Downtown Leadership, who recognized Daniel Figueroa from Union Square. And I'm going to have Letitia Satpathy from Union Square share this next story.
Thank you, Steve, and congratulations to Daniel. A patient shared her heartfelt appreciation for Daniel Figueroa's outstanding service. Due to challenges with her insurance, this patient traveled all the way from Albany to receive care at Mount Sinai. She described how stressful the situation had been for her to manage and became emotional as she recounted how Daniel, a secretary in the post-COVID center, went above and beyond to assist her when she arrived late to her appointment. He demonstrated empathy for the difficulties she was facing and ensured she felt heard and cared for. He immediately advocated for her to be seen, and his kindness, empathy, and genuine concern deeply touched her heart. She expressed, quote, "You never know what someone is going through, and Daniel's compassion made all the difference." Daniel's ability to listen attentively and show genuine compassion made a significant difference in her experience. Daniel, your dedication, empathy, and exceptional service set a shining example for all of us. You are truly remarkable, and we are grateful to have you as part of our team.
All right, Daniel, lots of Go Daniels in the chat. You got a lot of fans out there from Union Square. And I got to tell you, Your compassion and empathy, I noticed, was highlighted by both the patient and then again, same terms by your leadership. And I'm wondering if you could share how you bring that compassion and empathy into all your interactions with patients and families.
Well, thank you, Steve and Letitia. All interactions with my patients remind me of a family member. I've learned to listen and provide support every day. I keep in mind that respect, integrity, professionalism, perseverance, and accountability is a way to show you care. I want to extend my gratitude to my family, my colleagues, my managers, and directors for this amazing recognition. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
Thank you, Daniel. And I know how excited Daniel's been, so kind and thoughtful to us, helping create this event and put him on stage. And we see your appreciation for others just in how you responded even to this event throughout the process. And I see this as a real We Find a Way story as well. In an individual case, I'm going to find a way to make this right with this person to help them get the experience that they'll be talking about, that they'll be really appreciating. And how you value that individual person was a real wonderful story to share.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Daniel. Keep that going. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Letitia. We're going to go to Valerie Holden next from Mount Sinai Beth Israel, a social worker at MSBI. Christine Pescator is here to share this story. Valerie might not be on camera. We had her audio going, so we might be hearing her only, but let's bring Christine on up to share this story.
Hi, Steve. Valerie Holden is a dedicated, compassionate, and resourceful social worker. She genuinely cares about her patients and always strives to provide patient-centered care. A patient's healthcare proxy recently shared their appreciation for Valerie's outstanding work in a letter saying, "I am the healthcare proxy for one of your patients who suffers from dementia. Since July, her condition has worsened and she has required numerous psychiatric admissions to Mount Sinai Beth Israel. During that time, my husband, who handles the day-to-day management of her healthcare, found Valerie to be remarkably conscientious and concerned social worker who followed through all of her commitments. She was simply the best social worker he had the opportunity to work with. Thank you, Valerie. This testimonial truly exemplifies the exceptional social worker you are."
All right. Thank you so much, Christine. And Valerie, the exceptional social worker you are, how would you describe the attributes of an exceptional social worker? What is the vision you've set for yourself that guides you to bring such a high level of care and expertise into the work you do with patients and families?
Well, first, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone and congratulations to my fellow Beyond the Badge recipients. I am honored and humbled to be here today. I'd have to say it's the passion for the work, the respect and consideration for others, and clarifying my role and trying to develop a sense of calm within the patient so that they're willing to speak to you and let them know they're being heard. One has to have strong communication skills and actively listen to the patient and try to be where they are. Knowledge of resources, resilience, cultural competency, and problem solving, and strong advocacy skills. And my vision when I get up every day is to always think of coming to work as my second home, and the patients are our guests, along with me and my other colleagues, and to try to provide them with the best possible care that we can, and just to be available to them in all ways. I again want to wish everyone congratulations.
Oh, Valerie, thank you so much. First off, happy Social Work Month and celebrating that. Where our team is led, Diane Adams, our Chief Learning Officer, is a social worker in her background. So we know how much there is to learn from our social workers on empathy and how we care for people and how we listen to people and how we deeply understand their circumstances to be able to care for them best. So we love our social workers across the health system. And really thank you for sharing what brings you passion in your work here with us today.
And thank you.
Also, and I know Harlem Health Center is going to be lucky to have you as you move from Beth Israel to Harlem Health Center. Best of luck on that transition for you.
Yes, I'm already here. I've been here a week today, 5 days done.
Oh, well, beautiful. Well, best of luck to you. And I know you're going to make such a difference for our patients up there in Harlem.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Christine. We're going on to our next story is from the network practices. So I'll have Rebecca Asmussen come on up for this story for Dr. Renita Kim. Oh, we got
Thanks,
Natisha
Steve.
up first here. We're going to come back to you. We've got Dr. Kim first. And why don't you take it away, Rebecca?
Sure thing. Thanks. A patient of Dr. Renita Kim left a Google review that says, Dr. Kim, wow, where do I start? She is such a phenomenal woman who is heaven sent. The love and passion she has for her work and patients is unmatched. From the day I stepped foot in her office for a consultation, I've never felt more secure and happy that I'm in the hands of someone in the medical field who truly cares about the well-being of her patients and wants to give them the best treatment and care that she can. In a few words, to sum her up would be selfless, caring, compassionate, kind, soft-spoken, gentle, warm, positive, and an all-around beautiful spirit. Dr. Kim, thank you for all that you do. Dr. Kim, you are indeed everything this patient described. You are not only amazing with your patients, but to your teams as well. We are so lucky to have you at our practices.
Okay, excellent. So first off, we need to get Dr. Kim off mute here. If someone can get to the phone and click off mute, because we need to hear the screaming when we can hear it here. You've been muted because there's lots of energy back there. Okay, go. And you know what happens? Zoom has, it buffers out the background noise and it's cutting out the screaming anyway. But I love the energy back there. Dr. Kim, to go to you, this patient recognizes and appreciates how you truly care about the well-being of your patients. How do you personally create experiences like that for your patients where they feel that safety and feel supported and cared for?
Oh God. Well, first, thank you so much for this recognition. It's really an honor, and I'm honored to be in such good company and great team. Oh my goodness. I think when I see a patient, when I
log off.
We can hear you.
Oh, sorry. When I see a patient, I think they all come to me with like years of pain or symptoms that they've been dealing with for a really long time. So I try to make sure they feel validated in their experience and make sure that they feel heard. And then, throughout their treatment, I make sure that they know that I'm there with them for every step of the process, even if things don't always go as planned, letting them know that there's always like plan A, B, C, and D, and that no matter what, we'll get through it. So, yeah.
Let's hear some more screams and wave those. There we go. You're clearly so well loved by not just your patients, but by your team, by your colleagues who are there to support you and who work with you every day. And I just love the recognition of the journey that they've had with their illness before they get to you and taking that into consideration and understanding that and bringing empathy into that initial moment. And then throughout the work you do with your patients. Really, really well put.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Keep celebrating. Keep letting her know how much you value Dr. Kim on your team. Thank you, Rebecca. We're going to be back for Natisha Campbell with you in a little while. But first, we're going to go to Mount Sinai Morningside, where Nurse Mayumi Yamamoto is our next story. Let's bring Andres back for this story. Here we go. All right. Hi, Mayumi and Andres.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Let's Andres do your story, and then we'll be here ready to talk to Mayumi.
Yeah. Thank you so much for thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful celebration. It's truly an honor to be here. I'd like to express my gratitude to my patient for sending me such a wonderful letter, and then to my colleagues on the 8 East for their incredible support. Let me take back to the beginning of the 2024. A patient of mine asked me, how was my new year? I shared with him that I started my year by participating in the Midnight Marathon in Central Park. This is a 4-mile race that takes place on New Year's Eve and continue into the new year. I make it personal tradition because I love the energetic atmosphere filled with runners' positive spirits. There's nothing quite like hearing national anthem and then witnessing fireworks up close as we run. The event is not just about running. It embodies hope, and the community support. Participants varying greatly in age and the physical ability. Some may not run the entire distance, but still cross the finish line by walk, showcasing determination and resilience. I share this experience with my patient, hoping to inspire strength and optimism for his recovery. When I received this letter, I was genuinely surprised and very glad to know that he had walked a 10K. It fills me with joy to know that a simple conversation ignited his motivation to participate in a race in 2024. Unfortunately, this year's midnight run was canceled due to heavy rain. I was also registered. But his spirit gives me hope to see him in the future races. Yeah. And his journey has also inspired me to work hard. Thank you all for sharing this special time together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Andres, you did a great job recapping this story and speaking from the hearts. We're going to flip the interview and allow you the chance to comment on what you heard about the excellent work by Mayumi. And it was, I love this story. It was, you just had, like you said, this moment where you didn't realize this one moment, this one conversation would inspire someone throughout an entire year to get them from a hospital bed where they had both legs and braces to saying, I can do this, and was ready to do that walk and did it on their own throughout the city when the walk was canceled. Andres, what do you think of this story? Oh, we lost your audio again. You're off mute, but we lost your mic.
Oh, it's just an amazing experience. Yeah.
All right. Well, then it's a good thing Mayumi shared the story. Andres, let's get your mic back to the next one.
Sharing.
Thank you so much. Really wonderful story and a really incredible impact you had on that patient and family.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll see them at next year's race.
Thank you. Yeah, I will.
Okay. From that, we're going to go on to our Stories of Excellence section. You might see Samuel Boateng. Sam wasn't able to make it here today, but he was recognized for his work during a PACS outage and was really had a lot of folks from radiology and several other departments, digital technology partners, who wanted to comment on his ability to handle that crisis situation and keep things running smoothly. So Sam wasn't able to make it today, we found out. So we're going to go on to our next story you see in your program, and that's back to Rebecca with the Network Patient Support Center. This time, let's bring Natisha Campbell on up. Really excellent story for Natisha. And Rebecca, I'll let you share.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Natisha Campbell recently received a frantic phone call from a patient stating that her surgeon's office called, and if they didn't receive missing paperwork by 4 p.m., she would have to cancel her surgery that was scheduled for the next day. Natisha calmed the patient and got right to work, getting in touch with the department and working to gather all necessary test results and required information to fax over. She then called to confirm, but they never received the fax and were now closing. Not accepting that there was a potential for this patient to have her surgery canceled, Natisha came back early the next day to retry. When the fax failed again, she would not be denied, and she faxed the forms directly to the hospital and confirmed receipt. While the blame goes to the broken fax machine, Natisha's thoroughness and determination saved the day, successfully ensuring that the patient was able to have their surgery as scheduled. We truly appreciate Natisha for always putting patient needs first, and we're so happy to have her on our team. Way to go.
Thank you, Rebecca. I've been holding this sign up a lot today. A lot of We Find a Way stories, and you were relentless about ensuring this patient received their surgery on the day they expected to. So, Natisha, I'd love to hear you comment on that. What about your relentless approach to committing to achieving positive results for a patient, this patient, and all the patients? How do you put patients first in the work you do every day?
So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for the recognition to my team, my manager, my supervisors, the whole leadership team. Thank you so much. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everybody. And congratulations to everybody that got, who are on here and got, accepted to get behind the badge. So what I do every day is basically put myself in the patient's shoes. So I just try to just listen, not judge, be very compassionate to their needs. Um, and it was a situation where she was having surgery. She called twice. She was very nervous because the doctor's office wasn't getting the faxes. The hospital wasn't getting the faxes. There was some confusion with the phone numbers, what they were giving us. And then it came to find out that the faxes at the surgeon's office wasn't working. So because I know how it feels and how anxious the patient was, and I know having surgery and going into a procedure, being anxious, you don't want to feel that anxiousness, not knowing that possibly your surgery will be canceled. So I just went beyond the badge and just did what I had to do to make sure that the patient got what she needed. Make sure I executed everything that was needed. I made sure I called the hospital, made sure they had everything for the surgery, made sure the surgeon was on point, made sure that everybody was all on point for her surgery to go through. So it's just me putting myself in that patient's situation and just knowing that patient care is what we do every day, right? So we care about how the patient feel. We want to make sure that the patient gets what they need, and that's just what I do on a daily basis. So it's not nothing that's out of the ordinary. I just try to do the best that I can.
Well, you say it's nothing out of the ordinary, but there were many moments in this story where someone could have been justified to say, like, I did what I could. I did what I could. I
Yeah,
tried. I
no,
did everything I could. But you wouldn't accept I did what I
no,
could and see that issue was still happening. You kept
no.
going, said, I am making this happen. And then you did, and you found a way. And
Yep, sure
that
did.
commitment to that person, understanding what it would feel like to have their surgery canceled when you're already anxious about it.
Yeah,
You were their guardian angel throughout that process.
yeah.
Beautiful, Nishisha. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Steve. It's nice
So nice,
seeing you.
so nice to meet and talk with you today. Thanks, Nishisha.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Rebecca. Our next story and the final story in this section is for Jessica Lopez of Mount Sinai South Nassau. Just love this story. It sounds like a movie script. There we go. Jessica's got a team behind her. Let's bring Olivia on up to share this great story.
Thank you, Steve. I love this story as well. Jessica Lopez, a PCT on Unit D2 West, was recently waiting in line at a bank within our community when she noticed a gentleman who was having a medical emergency. He was slumped over in his chair, vomiting and unresponsive. Jessica responded perfectly by jumping into action, lowering the gentleman to the ground, assisting in clearing his airway, and caring for him until EMS arrived. Jessica humbly recalls that these life-saving actions were all learned in her patient care technician training at Mount Sinai South Nassau. But the story of excellence does not end here. This gentleman was then brought by EMS to Mount Sinai South Nassau and admitted as a patient to D2 West, where Jessica was later assigned to care for him. When the patient's daughter recognized Jessica from the bank, she was in awe, referring to Jessica as their angel. Thank you, Jessica, for your heroic actions and for truly going above and beyond the badge.
All right, let's first hear some cheering from your team that's behind you there. Woo! Is this story wild or what? I mean, I'd love to hear your side of it, Jessica. What did you experience from that emergency response in the moment? And then this discovery of seeing that patient appear on your very own unit.
I want to begin to say God worked in the mysterious way. The only reason I went inside the branch was because my debit card, get stuck in the ATM machine. When I went inside the branch, I was waiting for the people to help me to get my card from the ATM machine. And then I noticed the guy was outside behind me. The lady was screaming, help, help, daddy, daddy. And I noticed he was vomiting and he was out, he was unconscious, he was changing color. So I remember the training I was provided in here by Ms. Helen Caffrey. And then I rapidly respond and I put the patient lay down in the floor. I put in the side, I snap in the back, and then the patient slowly recovered the breath. So I noticed that the airway was open, and then I was start talking to him, say, sir, stay with me, and someone was calling 911. When the 911 arrived, the patient was stable. So I just went to my house because I was covered in vomiting, to get a shower. I never had the opportunity to know the people. They don't know my name. So the next day when I came here, I talked to my colleagues what happened. I was so excited and I say somebody yesterday, God give me the opportunity. I tell her, so how God works, because the only reason I went inside the branch was because my debit card was stuck in the ATM. And there was a purpose in there. And then my coworker and I went to get our vital sign as normal, that's like we do every day. So my colleague was the one find the family member and the patient when they asking what happened, why they was brought to the hospital, and the lady started telling her, yesterday we was in the bank and then my dad vomiting and he was unconscious, he was changing color, but the angel come and help us. And then my colleague start, what? And then she called me, Jessica, where are you? And I say, I am in 36. She say, can you come over? And as soon as I arrived to the room, she recognized me, and then she say, oh, this is the angel that helped my dad. And then she say, can I hug you? And she hugged me. And then really for me truly was like the most amazing experience that I have. God worked in the mysterious way, and I'm really thankful with this entire Mount Sinai system, with my manager, Stanley Maureen, Lauren, and all my colleagues that I'm here to encourage and support. And thank you for all the training that you really provide to us, that make us make different in here and outside in our community.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you very much.
Jessica, amazing, amazing. And a story you'll remember for the rest of your life, and just incredible. And I can't imagine what it must have been like, that moment. I wish could have been captured to see that realization from each of you, the family and you, seeing each other again. But so special and so incredible. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being there, and thank you for all you do here at Mount Sinai. And now you got this added layer of the stress of knowing that your card is still stuck in the machine.
Yeah.
My personal money, my accounts is stuck in a machine. Oh my gosh. I hope that all resolved.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you, Jessica and team. Incredible story. And thanks for being here today. We're so glad we got to share it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're going on to our next section. Our employee spotlight section is next, and we're going to call John Barton, who you may have seen in our chat. He has been just cheering for everybody and enjoying the stories that we've been sharing so far. So John was recognized by our facilities leadership for the system. Does a lot of work at Mount Sinai Hospital. So we'll have Colette Watson come on up and share this next story for John.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Thrilled to recognize John. So our story goes, for almost 12 years, John Barton has brought stability and leadership to the Mount Sinai engineering team in the central plant at Mount Sinai Hospital. His dedication to Mount Sinai is always on display. John can be found in the central plant during any emergency condition, weather event, or critical shutdown. John also takes a special interest in the development of those around him. He has created programs for both hourly and management employees to obtain licenses and advance in their careers. In addition, John spearheaded the creation of the Mount Sinai Energy Team. In the 6 years this team has been in place, the Mount Sinai Health System has seen a reduction in energy consumption of over 30%. This has removed over 100,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions and saved Mount Sinai close to $100 million. Thank you, John, for all you have and will continue to do. It is truly appreciated.
Wow, thank you, Colette. I think I do good work at Mount Sinai. I don't think I've saved the place $100 million yet in the work that I do. But John, this story, I think of One Mount Sinai for our patients, for our people, and for our world. And we've got all three of those in your story here. Your commitment to our patients and ensuring our facilities are running smoothly in emergencies. For our people, as you provide opportunities for learning and growth for staff that was mentioned. And for our world, through the inspiring work you do on the energy team. Can you tell us a bit about the personal mission you live by in your work that drives you to achieve these kinds of inspiring results here at Mount Sinai?
Thank you, Steve. And the value I think I've always tried to bring is that of ownership, being responsible and accountable for whatever it is that is in front of me. And of course, any success I've ever achieved is primarily due to the contribution of the team that I had working with me, my peers, and the senior leadership who gave me everything I ever needed to help improve the patient experience and the environment of care. So I'd like to thank everyone. And lastly, everything I am is primarily due to the love and support of my family and my children, my loving wife. So thank you all so much. It's really great to hear from all of you today.
Oh, that's great, John. I hope they're watching. And if they're not watching, we'll get you the recording so you can share it with them. I'm sure they're very proud of the work you do at Mount Sinai. And we're so glad we got to share these highlights and that ownership and responsibility. When you take that ownership and say, I'm going to be the one who steps up, the creation of the energy team, saying, this is what I want to do and drive and own and lead. And it's making these incredible results here at Mount Sinai. So thank you. Exceptional work. All right. Thanks so much, John. Colette, we're going to come back to you for another story shortly, but let's go to Millie Batista from Mount Sinai West Ambulatory. Andres, you got the next two. We got Morningside Ambulatory and West Ambulatory. Let's start with Millie Batista. Oh, we got a 7G in there for you. Millie, we'll fix that up. But welcome.
All right.
We got your audio back. Excellent.
Perfect. So congratulations, Millie. So Millie Batista is an amazing secretary who greets all of our patients with a warm and friendly smile at our Mount Sinai West cardiovascular practice. Every interaction she has with our patients or staff members is guided by a deep understanding of the challenges they may be facing. Whether it is getting a patient scheduled at the absolute last minute or just listening to a patient's concern, she always presents a solution. Millie has recently demonstrated her creativity and commitment to excellence by optimizing our CT imaging schedule to accommodate additional patients per day, resulting in higher patient and physician satisfaction. These are just a few of the many ways that she goes above and beyond for our patients and physicians. Thank you, Millie. We are so grateful to have you be part of our Mount Sinai West ambulatory team.
Yeah, thanks, Andres. And Millie, I saw the terms always, every encounter, and every interaction throughout this story. So what is the consistent approach you bring to every interaction that you'd say is the hallmark of your work in CVI?
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel so honored. Congratulations to everyone. So the hallmark of my approach is by creating an environment where every encounter and interaction is rooted in empathy, respect, and understanding. I strive to connect with each patient, offering a sense of safety, trust, and adapting my approach to best support their needs, whether it's through clear communication or being patient and flexible. My goal is to always ensure that each interaction is meaningful and supports each patient I encounter with on a daily basis. This consistency is key to creating a supportive and effective and compassionate experience for everyone I work with. Thank you again.
Really wonderful, Millie. I'm sorry we had the wrong template up there and didn't have you in the spotlight right away, but wonderful response and that everyday excellence, that commitment and consistency throughout your excellence was really highlighted in this story, and just great to shout it out. Thanks so much, Millie. And thank you, Andres, for sticking with you as we go to Morningside Ambulatory, where we have another story, which is for Chris Mary Morales. So let's bring Chris up. Do we have Chris Mary Morales? And Andres, why don't we start the story while we
Perfect. So Chris Mary Morales is a truly outstanding medical assistant whose deep knowledge of her role and of the Cardiovascular Institute as a whole exemplifies professionalism at its best. Chris brings joy to everyone she encounters in the clinic, from patients to staff and her families. Her kindness, empathy, and warm demeanor leave a lasting impression on all who meet her. Patients not only know Chris by name, but often express disappointment when she is not there to greet and room them. Her intelligence, efficiency, and organizational skills are unmatched. As both a teammate and a coach, Chris is a source of guidance and encouragement for everyone around her. Even in the challenging situations, Chris remains calm and unshaken, often offering support to her team with grace and positivity. She is a shining representative of Mount Sinai's values and inspires all of us to strive for excellence. Thank you, Chris. We are so grateful to have you on our Mount Sinai Morningside Ambulatory team.
Yeah, thank you, Andres. Chris, I'm hearing a combination of kindness and confidence, that you have this deep level of knowledge and experience, and you pair it with this personal commitment to caring for others. Can you tell us about your personal mindset that drives your commitment to excellence in every interaction?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to say thank you for the nomination. Um, I I I walk in the building every day with a mindset of helping in any area that I am needed. I work with this fantastic team. This team is wonderful. We treat each other like family. So we really relied on each other for anything that we need. And like I said at the beginning, I'm just there as needed. Like if you need me, I'm there. If a patient needs to go downstairs, help them get into their accessoride, I'm there, you know. And I also wanted to express my sincere appreciation for Dr. Palazzo. She's our medical director for this kind of recognition. It means a lot to me. And just want to say thank you to my team and to everyone.
Takes a team, and I know many of our individuals, talk about the team that allows them to do the great work they do, but they're happy to highlight you specifically for the great work you're doing every day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. All right, we've got 3 stories to go. And speaking of team and appreciating each other, this final category is that peer-to-peer appreciation. This is 3 stories left. I know we're going to go a little bit over. Stick with us. We're going to share all 3 of these stories. We have for Jason Leidy, for Dr. Michael Schiff, and for Vincent White to round out our show here today. Let's go to Amy Nelson at Mount Sinai Hospital Faculty Practice as they recognize through a star recognition Jason Leidy.
Thanks, Steve. Jason Leidy, a clinical coordinator in environmental medicine and climate science, received a star recognition stating, "Jason, I would like to take a moment to highlight your compassion and caring nature. Today, when I spoke with your patient, he shared with me how much your support has meant to him. He mentioned that during his darkest moments, you were there for him every step of the way. He considers you the best person to turn to for support, and he is truly grateful for everything you've done. Your kindness and dedication do not go unnoticed, and I wanted to make sure you knew how much you are appreciated." In addition, Jason has received several other stars from colleagues who appreciate his caring nature, support, inclusion, professionalism, and for being an excellent example of what true teamwork means. Thank you, Jason.
Amy, thank you. And Jason, in these star messages, we hear how a patient appreciated you for your support and caring nature. And then your colleagues also commented on your support and caring nature, the same terms in multiple recognitions. Can you share your perspective of the caring nature you aim to bring to your patients and your colleagues here at Mount Sinai?
You've heard it from a lot of the people that have gone before me. Um, this is part of the assignment. This is a part of our mission. My goal is to make a living and make a difference, as most of these people have done and in their testimony. And I'm just happy to do so. And with my team, which is the World Trade Center Health Program, it's easy. I'm one of the newer case managers, and from the CM leadership, all the way to my colleagues, to the support staff for SMCs. They've always, been there to support me, whether if I got something wrong, they'll, with compassion, show me what's the right way to go to assist the patient. To my colleagues who give me tons of advice, and even SMCs who always there to support us. So I thank all of them for helping me, give the care that I can to the patients.
Well, an excellent team, and it's great to hear, even though as a relatively newer member of the team, that they're sending you star recognitions to comment on the excellent work that you're doing, the great work, your job that you're doing already. And now we got to take your quote as our marketing for finding new hires. And not only at Mount Sinai, not only do I make a living, but I make a difference. Is how you put it. Absolutely. I love the message. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jason. 2 stories to go. Dr. Michael Schiff from Mount Sinai Hospital Ambulatory Leadership recognized Dr. Michael Schiff. Actually, this one includes patient comments and star recognition and employee comments. So let's have Colette Watson back for our final 2 stories, and we'll start with Dr. Schiff.
Absolutely. So the appreciation for Dr. Michael Schiff in oral and maxillofacial surgery comes from staff, providers, and patients alike. Staff say that Dr. Schiff's passion for patient care is evident in everything he does. He takes time to explain procedures and surgeries to patients and answers all of their questions, and he prioritizes patient needs over his own, adjusting his schedule to accommodate urgent add-on appointments. His fellow providers comment on how Dr. Schiff is a pleasure to work with. He goes above and beyond for the clinic patients and has been an excellent mentor to the younger residents. His efficiency and good attitude permeate through clinic when he is here. And a recent patient comments, quote, Dr. Schiff took the time to listen to all of my concerns and put me at ease before getting my procedure done under sedation. I've seen a lot of doctors in my time, and he's one of the best. You can tell he cares.
Yeah, really nice. And you can see, Dr. Schiff, the praise is coming from all these different directions, patients, providers, and staff. So how would you describe the doctor and the colleague you strive to be in your work here at Mount Sinai that's giving you so many fans of the work you do?
Wow. I'm really truly grateful for those kind words from patients, providers, and staff. It's incredibly humbling and unexpected, given how incredible all the heroes I work with are, and all these honorees are. You know, these stories have been incredible and truly inspiring. Personally, I grew up in a Jewish household with a strong sense of values, where I was taught that caring for others, continuous learning, and a strong sense of community are not just values, but responsibilities. Terms I grew up hearing were pikuach nefesh, preserving life, and tikkun olam, or mending the world. These principles have profoundly shaped the kind of physician and colleague I strive to be every day at Mount Sinai. For my patients, that means providing the highest quality care with empathy, humility, and a deep commitment to their well-being. Many of my patients here at Sinai face complex medical challenges, and navigating the healthcare system can feel overwhelming, especially when medical literacy varies and their needs are many. I see it as my responsibility to not only treat their illnesses, but also to be their advocate, ensuring they feel supported, informed, and empowered throughout their care. For my colleagues, I aim to foster a culture of collaboration, trust, camaraderie, shared learning, and most importantly for me is friendship. Because medicine is not an individual pursuit, but it's always a team effort, as has been mentioned countless times today. At Mount Sinai, we are part of something greater than ourselves, working together to push the boundaries of medical excellence while always putting patients first. It is an absolute honor to be a part of this institution and to contribute to the culture of compassion and innovation that defines it. So thank you all again, and congratulations to everyone.
Just absolutely excellent, Dr. Schiff. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. You know, my favorite part about hosting Beyond the Badge is hearing people describe the different things that drive them, that really is at the heart of what they bring their full selves every day, is that I hear you lay out like what motivates, what inspires you, what you call upon to be at your best for your colleagues and for your patients is truly inspiring. Really, really wonderful messages. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And lots of love in the chat. My goodness, you got a lot of fans out there. We've got one story to go, and then I know Dr. Sharma from South Nassau wants to close us out with a final appreciation. Let's go to Vincent White. Colette, you're ready for that story. Mount Sinai Supply Chain Leadership for the System recognized Vincent from Mount Sinai Hospital. And a star from Aaron Figueroa. We know who wrote this star, so thanks to Aaron for sharing it.
Absolutely. Vincent White, a materials management assistant manager for the overnight shift at Mount Sinai, received the star recognition, highlighting his dedication, reliability, and teamwork. A nursing senior director, Erin Figueroa, writes, quote, on a recent night, labor and delivery was out of resources they needed to care for their patients. Without another resource available, Vincent took his own vehicle to Mount Sinai West to pick up the needed resources to care for our patients. Thank you for your caring and dedication. When Vincent was told of his star recognition, he replied, I just want to ensure I set the right tone for the team and lead by example in every situation. I aim to inspire confidence and create a positive environment that reflects the values we uphold as a team.
Yeah, thank you. I know Vincent didn't have a camera to come on, but he's listening out there. Vincent, if you can comment here, you know, when you say that you want to ensure you set the right tone and lead by example, how would you describe the example you aim to lead by that reflects the values of you and your team?
Good afternoon. First and foremost, I want to thank my leadership for putting me in position to thrive and allowing me to be a product of their hard work and vision. For me, setting the right tone means being proactive, reliable, and solution-oriented. I lead by example through strong communication, problem solving, and a willingness to step up to challenges when they arise. My focus is to work on teamwork, efficiency, and ensuring that we adapt, support each other, and get the job done. That's the culture I strive to enforce every day.
Thank you, Vincent. Love it. And we see it. This was another We Find a Way story in this moment. You talked about agility. I'm going to put all these up. You talked about teamwork and how these things drive that effort, that culture within your team, and the example that you want to set in it. And that was just really well put, Vincent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, congrats. And we're so glad we got to share that story. I know Dr. Adi Sharma is here from South Nassau. He couldn't come on by camera before, but we've got him on. It would be great to have you come on up, Dr. Sharma, to close us out. as our final message.
Absolutely, Steve. Thank you. And apologies for the delay and the technical issues, but like you say, we find a way. More importantly, though, I do want to congratulate all those being recognized today. They really exemplify our mission and vision. And a special shout out to that South Nassau team who exemplify two elements of that. Jessica providing care for patients wherever they need it, even out in the field. And our laboratory team of Marissa, Ronaldo, Diane, and Vladimir showing how teamwork can really help achieve our goals and missions by making resources available to care for patients. Thank you, Steve. This has been a great Beyond the Badge episode.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. And just love that our leaders like you are out there in our audience, watching with pride, cheering on their employees and faculty and staff and teams that are being honored. I hope you keep coming back. We got more stories to share.